Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about Vermillion, a VR painting game, which I will be honest with you, painting is one of those genres and art in general that in VR has become one of my favorites that I never would have thought I liked.
Yeah, gotten to experience. We actually reviewed another one.
A web browser based one that was good, but this is
This is a store, not an app lab, but this is a store game. But yeah, I mean, painting in VR is a whole new way to do art. So much better than doing it in real life, which we'll get into the reasons why. I'll give you about 100 reasons why, really, as to why it's better. But let's go over the breakdown of how much and
who is made by and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so again, this is Vermillion. It's new, like you mentioned, on the official Oculus Quest store. Came out March 24th, 2022, so just the other week. It's made by developer Thomas Van Den Berg and then publisher The Avery. I just want to make sure not to say anything incorrect here. Even worse so because when you load up this game and you play it, the first time they take you through a little tutorial and then it loads up with a web browser that has the developer teach you how to paint and he says his name. So if I said it wrong, it would be incredibly embarrassing.
Yeah, and he's got the cool avatar as well.
Yep.
That ET. No, this as we're going to discover, this game has like no flaws and does everything it's supposed to do. I mean, it's oil painting. You can do, wet on wet color mixing. There's over 30 plus educational videos tied in with the, an integrated
into the interface. Yeah, you just go click on to learn videos for Vermillion, and boom, takes you to a YouTube playlist.
And that just doesn't limit you to what they're offering you right off the bat, but that limits you to whatever you want to search for. So you want to do a Picasso or one of those type of paintings, just type and search it. I mean, shit, I pulled up our podcast just to see if I could grab an image.
And then you just click the projector overlay image. You kind of stretch it out over the canvas that you want, which even more so, you mentioned, so you get to pick the canvas size you want simply just by stretching it out and going small, big. You look on your right, you have, how many different paintbrushes there?
God, you've got a handful of them.
Pretty much every tool you could need.
To 20. Everything from every blending. You got your blending brush. You've got your little cleaning area that you can clean off some of your mistakes.
The small pointy rigger brush. You have... you have the scalp,
a color changing one.
Oh my God. Pretty much any tool that you could need to do oil painting, they got on your right. Then you look on your left and they have, a whole color palette. And if they don't have a color you need, beautiful color mixing in game. So just add whatever combo of colors you need, make whatever shade you need. It's even cool. Sometimes like I'll take a blue, add some black or some brown to it just to make it a little bit darker. So you can get real creative with the color mixing. And then it's a game that you can easily play sitting, standing, or even laying down. And
absolutely,
you might hear that and go, "What?" But you get to just grab, the actual canvas area, the tools, and the paint, and you can move them however you want in your room, and you can teleport. So, get your setup however you're comfortable and start painting.
Yeah, you're fixed. You're fixed in this game. So really, I mean, probably the most enjoyable way to play it is kind of how you play it in a swivel chair, where I tend to like to play it standing up just because, I mean, if I were really going to paint, I would. They give you 3 different environments that you can choose to paint in. One of them is actually the pass-through mode, which this is the first example of pass-through that I actually kind of liked because you still have your easel, you've got your color palette, little stand,
I've stumbled
got your paintbrush. And in pass-through, it's just kind of cool. It's like, wow, okay, I'm actually painting in my own friggin' living room.
Yeah, and it's cool. So a lot of times, like, I'll play the game with, my girlfriend in the room or any game, and it's cool to be able to paint and still see, it doesn't feel as much like I have a headset on. I'm still in my room.
You're not forced to be so immersed into the environment of the game. I don't want to call this a game. I'll call it a simulation.
Yeah, it's an art simulator.
Because the authenticity of the finished product of what you create or don't create and just fuck around is like really top notch. I mean, like to the point if you do brush strokes and then kind of get in real close with your face and look at your canvas, you'll see the brush strokes on that canvas.
Yeah, whether you're going up, down, side to side, diagonal, crazy, you can see it to the detail.
But real quick, the other mode that you have is a loft, which is pretty generic, kind of like off-whitish and just big.
To me, it kind of looks like an insane asylum room. What I would imagine, like, okay, I went crazy, now I'm painting.
Yeah, it's a very
nice, calming white room.
Exactly. Yeah, calming is the word. And then you have the manor, which is the one I typically go in, which has like the 20-foot high ceiling, the marble walls with the fancy carpet sections on certain parts of the wall.
An unbelievably high detailed velvet chair. I've commented on this chair to you a couple times.
Yeah, it's just off in the corner,
and it's
Can't
so
even get
high.
Close to it.
So honestly, that background is 100% my favorite, and the detail of it is like, it's so weird because you wouldn't expect it in an art game, especially for just the background. We're not talking about the actual canvas itself, just the environment. Is some of the best graphics I've seen on the Quest too. It's remarkable. But I also feel like that environment, me using it all the time, is part of the reason that this game destroys my battery.
No, I get about exactly 1 hour of gameplay in this game before my battery goes down, which seems to be, it's pretty close to normal. But if you really want to get into it, make sure you got a battery backup ready to go, because for some reason an hour of painting will go by in what feels like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, no, this game's a time sink. It's 100 at the bare minimum. A full charge is going to be used when I play, and maybe even my battery pack, because it's tough. You get an hour into painting and you just got your groove of whatever you want to work on, and hey, let's say you don't get to finish your painting, your headset dies before you finish, or you shut it off. You only did 20 minutes. You can manually save your paintings, and it auto saves. So it's not like you just restart. Oh no! Oh God, my headset ran out of power. Now,
which happens to me.
Yeah, I didn't save. Now I lost all my power or all my progress. It's gonna auto save your progress. So that's nice.
And the beauty of this, I mean, it's so stupid easy to get set up. Pick a canvas side, like you said, stretch it, put your hand on the canvas to acknowledge that that's the one you want. But where they get cool is, like, if you're working on a big canvas and you want to prime the thing all white, you can reduce it right then on the spot to the smallest canvas size, prime it all white, and then expand it back to the size that you want.
Yeah, 100% that. After you select the full size you want, you can scale it bigger, smaller, keep it full scale. And
so if you're working on, and I was questioning, like, well, would I ever need to go bigger? And it's like, absolutely, because if you want to do some fine, detailed work, stretch it to the biggest size canvas, work on that little area you want to work on, and then reduce it back down when you're done to the size you do. It's genius.
Yeah, that I can imagine going big scale is probably big for people who are doing like face portraits or whole body portraits.
They get some of the preload images that it comes preloaded with that you can see people's examples. They'll let you load it on. Some of them are the full size canvas, and it's dude, I was looking at one the other day and it was just damn impressive. The use of colors, and there wasn't really heavy blending in the painting, but the colors were tight. I was like, damn.
Well, something that we got to give a lot of credit to in this game is that it can take somebody like me who paints like a toddler. My things look like scribbles. It's embarrassing, and honestly, it will get somebody like myself pumping out decent artwork. Because like I referenced at the start, you load in the game and it teaches you kind of real quick with a built-in game tutorial, here's how to move everything, here's how to teleport, here's the brushes, whatever. It just kind of teaches you a real rough basic thing. And then after that, the tutorial's done, and then the full interface opens up on the left, which is where you have the ability to, make a new canvas, save, whatever. But there's your web browser, and on the default of the web browser, there's a YouTube tutorial of the developer teaching you how to paint like Bob Ross.
Yeah, and they do a Bob Ross painting.
It's probably like 38 minute tutorial, which he makes it look so easy, just like Bob Ross does when Bob Ross paints in real life. Yeah,
it's 30 minutes.
Yeah, but this guy, it took me a lot longer than 30 minutes because I paused the video so many times.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the tutorial's 30 minutes, but or we'll even say any episode of Bob Ross, it's like the whole thing was you can paint this all in 30 minutes. But if you're going to be pausing a lot because these guys know how to paint.
Yeah,
and even Thomas Vandenberg obviously knows how to paint, because I'm having to hit that 30 minutes was probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it took me a couple sessions. I took my sweet time because, again, I'm very bad at painting. But you'll just see him brush over, and it just looks so beautiful, and I go to do it, and it looks so bad. But besides that, you go through that whole tutorial where he teaches you, in-game concepts, and he'll teach you some really cool concepts about shading, color illusion, just real quick, kind of referencing, not really going into detail.
Video tutorials?
Well, no, just even that first 30 minutes, he'll reference things and give you a base understanding. So it's like, cool, now I have a good understanding of things to work with. And, you finish that whole 38-minute tutorial and you follow through, you're going to have a nice Bob Ross-esque painting. But then after that, like you said, there's like 31, 32, something like that, over 30 different video tutorials from this YouTuber who does an amazing job going really in-depth into those concepts kind of referenced in that first tutorial. So, like, there's a whole video dedicated to color illusion, whole video dedicated to
31, I believe.
Yeah, whole video dedicated to using the projector to trace, all these in-game concepts and real-life complicated art concepts, they go really in-depth with. So, again, you can go from complete novice who's never painted anything, that looks anything good to really almost a whole art class level of material.
Oh, yeah. 31 videos, each one dedicated to just the specific topic. There's one dedicated to just the controller, one dedicated to just your easel. So it'll tell you, like, you can move your easel forward, backwards, up, down, angle it at different angles. I mean, he really goes out of his way to, and it's simple to understand. I think he makes it kind of fun too, because he's got googly eyes on his VR headset.
He's got a fun talking voice too.
He's got the black headset with the googly eyes on it, and yeah, you can tell the dude loves art. And that's not the developer whom you take the first, your first real painting class from.
Yeah, he's lesson 1, that default tutorial.
Yeah, which is still like hands down one of the best like learning tutorials I've done for painting, because one of the only issue I've had with previous painting experiences has been lack of tutorial, and how cool it would be if they could, you could take someone like myself who doesn't know how to paint and, paint in like a manner that I'd be proud to show anybody anything.
And actually understand conceptually of what's going on.
Break it down and go, this is what's happening.
This is why I'm doing it. It's not an accident that it came out looking good.
Yeah, and I mean, you get your hands wet with the first one, alongside with the developer. You're watching him do it, and he'll give you the whys and nots. But if you sit through and, you don't have to sit through all 31 videos in a day, but watch each one, and by the end of them all, you're going to have a pretty clear understanding of not only how this experience operates and operates at its best potential, because there is 2 different settings that it's kind of beneficial to play with for effect. But you walk out of there feeling more confident even in the real world and with understanding oil painting, at least.
Yeah, no, again, they teach you in-game mechanics, but real-life art mechanics.
Yeah, real terms and the whys. And like I said, I love knowing the whys and the how-comes, and then this is the application and effect. And, I mean, I never understood color illusion from a painting perspective until I watched the video on it.
Mm-hmm. And just to specify, it's like, so that first tutorial you play with the developer is 37, 38 minutes, but all the other video tutorials with the YouTuber after that, they're like on the short 5 minutes, on the long 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like that first tutorial, it's a follow along, really learn and do it with the developer. The other ones, you can kind of keep them on in the background like you would music or a podcast, and just kind of soak it in as you paint your own conceptual thing. It's not so much a follow along as much as just a class.
No, for the most part, you could say, yeah, but there is some areas for sure
that you'd want to do it with him. Absolutely.
And like I did with the, watching somebody do the color illusion and then doing it yourself and being like, oh my God, I'm watching it with my own eyes. It's a real thing. Who knew? Probably millions of people knew, but I didn't. Not at least in, like I said, a painting application sense.
And since it is a YouTube browser, you don't have to do the YouTube or the video tutorials. You can put on music or, your favorite, VR podcast in the background and and listen to that while you paint, or nothing at all. You don't have to use YouTube either.
No, I mean, if you know how to paint and it's like you just need a canvas and the tools to paint, then this is home run for you. You're not going to be out of your element. But if you're like more like me, then they bring you into the element and get you to at least not feel like an idiot, encourage you to try everything, like there's a lot of brushes, man. And some of the brushes are adjustable, so you can take it from a wide thickness and then thin it out to a thin one. So that's obviously going to have a different effect. The unique feature also to this is they allow you to make mistakes. So if you make a mistake and you realize it, just click your left controller, little thumbstick to the left, and your mistake disappears.
Which is huge.
That is, because I know in previous times painting in VR, I've made mistakes, and then you have to live with it because that's life, and that's
is kind of true to real life.
Out of fairness, it is, but they give you the ability to go back 4, so that's more than generous. Because just even being able to make, and I've done it. I've made, trying to make the best of a shitty mistake, and instead of getting rid of it, then I just added to the shitty mistake.
Yeah, and then it's more than 4 moves, but then that's your fault. Now there's a shame on you.
Or I just try to get it before the
4 moves are up.
Because I'm consciously knowing I'm fucking up. But they also give you layers, which again in real life you wouldn't be able to work with wet paint like that.
No, but it's convenient to be like, all right, I want to do it and not mix.
Yeah, so they give you only up to 4 layers. So they're more than generous with giving you liberties that you can take in oil painting that might not exist to this style of painting.
Yeah, so. Because since it's oil painting, you put on, one color, then you go to layer another without using the layer feature. Depending on how you paint and the brush you're using, it's not necessarily going to go right on top. It might blend together a little bit, or you might see the stroke marks go through. So being able to work with layers is convenient, I haven't really done it.
I've never used it.
But I can see the purpose of it,
The only time to use it is really if you want a really good first-hand impression and view of color illusion. Then throw the layer on and, draw your line across 2 different colors. And
yeah, I kind of like that, like choppy, semi mixed together, kind of creates like a shading.
Well, it challenges you too. Yeah. But again, you definitely have to play with the 2 settings for your paint thickness and how much color mixing you're allowing on your
canvas.
On your canvas.
Yeah, especially if you're not playing with layers.
And even if you listen to the tutorial, you'll catch on real quick that those settings are crucial.
Yeah, he switches them in that first tutorial. He switches them, 2 or 3 times during the tutorial.
Yeah.
And changes the brush 100 times.
And if you don't do it, then, you're not going to get that same kind of, but you'll learn that. At first I thought, okay, if there's anything about this I'm not liking, it's this. But then I'm realizing, well, they're just giving you an ability to put a real world application, but it's just a setting. And there's only 2 settings, so it's not like, and what's cool is you can keep it on the screen if you really want, do it on the fly.
Yep. I usually go back to the YouTube video because I was like watching the YouTuber who was teaching me stuff. But yeah,
he's a cool dude.
If you're constantly adjusting it, you can just keep that setting window. It's not like you have to close the setting window to resume painting. Your interface with the browser and everything is its own separate window that you can also move.
Their interface is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's got every option. I mean, saving and loading and starting new canvas.
Exporting it. You can save the picture.
3D model it.
Yeah, you can export it as a 3D model. You can save it. You can share it directly to Facebook on your page or Facebook groups.
Yep. You can load in an image and projector it to your canvas and actually stretch the image out to whatever size you want.
Yeah, that's what we were referencing before. Make it so you can trace it.
You can use YouTube and take a still off of that or a photo from that and do it in real time right onto your screen. It's pretty, that's pretty damn impressive too.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it's tracing. So at the end of the day, you didn't really paint it. You traced it, but
it's still, hey, you go to trace and you're going to be like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, if it gets you doing it, it's just one more option to like, I guess. My biggest problem is I have delusions of grandeur when I go to paint. I have these ideas in my head, but they don't execute at all like they are in my head, and I can't figure out why. So it's like I could see where tracing for me might in certain areas when I get these crazy ideas.
Well, hey, at least if you do the tutorials, you get an understanding of why sometimes you place it down and it doesn't look like it should. Just, shade-wise and everything.
Those videos have been like...
That's an art class.
Definitely.
Like, there's
an art class... For the amount of content you're getting, just in, I mean, let's be honest, it's YouTube. You could go... You don't have to buy the game to watch the videos. You could just watch them without owning it. But if one were to put a numerical value on the knowledge given from a video, because let's be honest, most games don't do that. They're more like, text. Your thumbstick will do this.
Or like what the tutorial, that built-in first tutorial. That's it.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So
I'd love more. I'd love it if they took the art dude who does the 31 videos and had him do an avatar painting that you go step by step with, just like the developer created for the first tutorial.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that instead of the first one, because the developer's one was great too. I'd want a secondary
nothing
one.
Wrong with it.
Yeah,
it gets
I agree
your
on
hands
that
wet,
100%.
But I'd love to see another artist, and that's why I brought that guy up, because he's just a cool dude. So I'd love to see another artist do a walk by walk, just like the developer did.
Yeah, because that was useful for learning.
Because I did try the Bob Ross video.
Yeah, you tried to follow a real life Bob Ross video.
And come to find, he's got a couple of different tools that you don't necessarily have in your collection. And I don't know, it was just a fucking epic fail. I was really bummed.
But that would be something cool to go revisit when you get better.
Yeah, I'm actually focusing more on I do like my own kind of play thing where, because and it's no secret, I love blending shit, right? Go figure. And then I'm doing it in this one too, like I did the last painting experience. But I'll keep going back to the developer one and just hone my skills on because I'm starting to memorize some of the concept of like the sky. This is kind of how you want to mix it. And now I'm getting brave enough that I just want to try my own thing with the sky and add what happens if I add this color to it? I'll kind of gray it out a little and a little stormy cloud up there. So, no, dude, this is so freaking relaxing.
Yeah, I get lost in it.
And the only thing I would ever ask for that maybe would make it better would be as if they had a multiplayer mode that just consisted of you could see the person that you're chilling with painting. Like we were next to, it's an art class.
God, I was going to say that. Yeah, and it's so above and beyond, because this game, from my understanding, look, it's a couple things we forgot to mention. Quest 2 only. I mean, obviously it's available on Oculus Rift as well and PC VR, but I'm talking for the Quest. There's no Quest 1 support. It's Oculus Quest 2 only, or MetaQuest 2 only.
There you go.
And I also think, believe it or not, I think because we went right from the developer into just...
You didn't say the ratings.
I didn't say the ratings or the cost.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here saying this game is worth you get so much bang for your buck.
I flagged the rating, by the way.
Yeah, so the game's $19.99 on the official MetaQuest store. Like I said, I did mention that it just dropped in March, so that's why you'll see, it's rocking 4.8, but only 114 ratings with 75 written reviews.
Which is pretty, that's like a 75%.
Yeah, ratio of people reviewing it and rating it, usually it's more like a third to 50-50. But, for $19.99, it's worth it just on the art simulation value alone. Like, it's a well-polished art simulator that's worth $20. And then you get into the value of the educational aspect, and this game is worth, $20 is a no-brainer, if you ask me.
Well, when I saw the 20 and... we bought this game. I mean,
yeah, this wasn't we like to be transparent. Like, oh, hey, the developer sent us this.
Yeah, some of them are developers sent, and that's great, and some aren't, and that's great too.
This was out of the wallet.
This was I want to review it because we had reviewed a different painting experience, and I want to do some comparisons. And I won't lie, I wasn't jumping up and down at $19.99 because I kind of already have some experience with the painting stuff, and damn, that all went away.
Yeah, you know what? Pretty quickly too. Right when you get into that environment, it went away from me.
When I started doing the tutorial with the developer, and I felt like my only complaint of the last experience I had was lack of tutorial to make me a better painter. You've given me the tools, you've given me the, some really basic concepts, but nothing that's going to make me feel like I'm learning. I'm self-learning, not like, hey, did you know this? Like someone's actually telling me who's a freaking professional. It's like, oh no shit, I'm actually learning.
Yeah.
I feel like when I watch those videos, like I'm learning something here, and it's gonna make me actually I'm not a painter, but it's gonna make me a better beginner painter. So I mean, 1999 was nothing for the value.
The built-in YouTube and all the tutorials they had. Yeah, if there was any question on the 1999, which I felt was worth it for $20, the educational aspect knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, it's legit.
So, and it's pushing the Quest 2 to the limit.
Yeah.
From my understanding from the developer, I saw him posting on Twitter. He's like, dude, it was a pain to get this optimized on the Quest 2. That's why it's not on the Quest 1.
Okay, it's my understanding, and I might be wrong, and we'll let
him explain.
Mr. Thomas explain if I'm wrong on this. But in order to come up with the ability to take the colors, and we're not talking like you get a color palette of 50 colors here. No, you get like the basic colors that
if you want a color that's not there, you got to mix.
But I don't think it was as easy for him as just going, well, I'm just going to add the color. He had to write code, basically reinvent color for us to see the color. So
that's what the tutorial, not himself in the tutorial. That's what the YouTuber was implying.
Dude, that is absolutely.
So I want to know. I definitely want to know more about that.
Yeah, like because I mean, the color mixing's pretty damn spot on. I mean, I even asked if I want to know how to do a color, I ask Alexa, on the spot.
Yeah, I hear that.
Purple, and boom, she answers, and I take it from my palette, and you can like put your paint on thick or kind of light, so you can get different
add more
shades.
of one color.
Fuck, dude, it works.
I mean, it's so good.
It's legit. It's like, how the hell?
So to go back to what you were saying before I got sidetracked, remembering that we didn't do the costs and the reading or anything like that. It was definitely in my mind. Like, I wish that I could do. I understand not a whole public lobby or anything, but like a private room with maybe up to like 4 people or something like that. That would be amazing to be able to paint with. But I understand why it doesn't, because if it was so hard, if it's already pushing the Quest to the max, I doubt.
Yeah, it just can't handle more environment.
And it's very like the game is so polished. So sometimes when we say these things, just in case anybody hears this and they go, wow, these assholes, like this is a great game. And the only thing they're saying is, I wish there was multiplayer, but like, that's not, it's just that sometimes we'll finish a game, not finish a game in this case, cause it's a simulation, but we'll play a game a bunch and we're like, all right, if I could have anything in the world.
You gotta wish for something.
Yeah, you can wish. With any game, you could come up with something.
Doesn't matter with anything.
Yeah.
Wish I had this car. Wish I had this whatever,
So if in that case, I wish that there was a private lobby that me and you could paint together. I could look over and see you painting. That would be
I'll kick it up a notch.
What's that?
Since we're playing with
Fantasyland.
This is just make believe because I mean, if you look at the environment you're in, they're stripped down for a reason because all that focus and attention and power has to go into your actual even though the background environment's mint. I mean, it's tight, but you just have a chair in it.
Yeah, and a wall,
and some ambience of sound effects,
some wallpaper, like, some
thunderstorm rolling by. Not like lightning bolts and shit. So yeah, they're maxing it out.
But it's not like there's a.
But what if it didn't max out and it was tons of excess power to be had, where you could go into like a 4 or 5 person class where the avatar's in the middle and the students are around them with their easel and it's like a step by step, but with your multiplayer friends. So it's legit like a class, and then you could pick which class you want to take, and then as if Thomas isn't busy enough, but he can,
It's like a pre-recorded, and you can go
in
there.
Or you have guest ones coming. Yep. Yeah, but it's done in like the avatar form, not the human form.
All right, so you want to go learning A Night Sky with Thomas Van Buren? All right, let's go do that one right now.
And then they have guest ones that had come in.
That would be amazing. Now,
I mean, just a tremendous undertaking. That's the only way it could get any cooler.
As we're saying all this, does it diminish the game one bit that it doesn't have these? No. The game,
my score will reflect the honesty of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, no matter, it's what I came with. So, I've got, these are just selfish wish lists. You're like, but I would challenge anybody not to play anything or do anything and not be like, if I could add something, and I'm not saying if I could take something away from it, was thinking if I could add something.
Yeah.
And it's just for selfish reasons.
Yeah, not having these features are not going to drop my score 1 point because it's so.
If painting is this much fucking fun doing it alone, how much fun would it be doing it next to somebody that is painting also?
Yeah.
You're all focused on that same, like we're painting the same mountain. Or they have those painting parties, for Christ's sake.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I see those all the time.
Yeah, it's like paint and booze. You know, you paint. And everyone comes home with the same.
Paint and sip is what they call.
Yeah,
it.
it's they're not as direct with the booze side of it.
That's why I almost said paint and sip before, so I was already laughing because it's such a silly name. It's awesome.
But it's like conceptually, it would be cool to be able to do that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you could have like a real artist in the group.
Yeah.
Who could pop in and be like, hey, or I could actually walk and see your shit and give you advice.
Now, here's the thing. Would you pay a monthly membership for live classes and live training? $10 a month, $15 a month?
I would pay, you know what? On a short term,
a subscription,
probably.
Not a membership. I'll say a subscription.
If my work could be critiqued during the class, like the teacher could actually see, okay, you know, hey, you're doing good, but you might want to go a little less heavy with your knife there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm talking live classes like that, not the pre-recorded. Like,
yeah, because it would be fun. Because those sip and paint booze fests, they're not free.
No, nor should they. People's time and stuff. You know?
And you gotta buy paint.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do the math on what it would actually cost to. You lose, to me, to paint not in VR must be a real pain in the ass, because how much creativity can you have when it costs money to just fuck around?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want an idea. Now it's a canvas, right?
Yeah, you referenced, you know, this doesn't have the way in the beginning. You said we're gonna get back to it. You know, now's a good time for it. You know, painting in VR eliminates all the annoying, you know, real life physical barriers such as cost. You know.
Holy crap. Dude.
You don't have to buy the canvas. You don't have to buy the paint. You don't have to buy the cleanup, the setup. So when you're done painting in this game, most of the time I'm done painting in this game.
I can't imagine the mess I would make slapping a brush.
I'm so messy. I am so messy. I cannot paint in my house.
Right?
It would be a disaster.
You could once.
Yeah.
You can paint once.
I'd be doing a repainting after fixing my walls. You know, all the paint, I got all of them and everything. But you know, when I'm done playing this game, it's mostly because my headset dies. So that means I go, pew, take off the headset, put it away. I'm done painting.
Yeah.
There's no setup. There's no cleanup. There's no buying more materials. Oh, shit, I'm out of green paint. Fuck. You know, I need green. All right, I guess I'll do this tomorrow. You don't have to you don't have to worry about getting destroyed in the meantime while, you know, it falls over, you know, in the spare room, whatever, anything like that. It's all those real life obstacles gone, including judgment. So you go to, maybe you're somebody with social anxiety or something like that. It's a lot of money to go buy a bunch of materials, like we were saying, to learn how to paint by yourself. So for some people, the thought of doing one of those paint and sips or going to an in-person class just to learn how to paint, you know, they're just never going to do it. Whereas with VR,
I've never done it.
Yeah, because, like, dude,
they look like fun, but I just don't. It's not my thing.
And I think a lot of people have a subconscious fear of getting judged by, like, you know, elitist or whatever in the art field. You know, like, oh, dude, that sky sucks. What, you really don't know how to paint a sky? And it's like, no, I don't. I want to learn, but I don't know right now. So it's like that.
Especially this area, dude.
And
we're in like the artsy part of the world.
We're East Coast. We're
every town has every county has an art area.
And beyond that, you know, then you got that Northeast attitude. So you combine people knowing how to actually paint with being.
That's not how you oil paint.
Fucking
whatever.
Yeah, nonetheless.
No, there's no downside to.
I'd even make the argument if you were like, look, I'm not interested in VR painting. I want to paint in real life. You should learn how to paint in VR first, just to save on the cost of materials before you ever lay paint to an actual canvas. You'll have a good understanding of what to do just from doing this game and all the tutorials and practice, you know?
Dude, I'm not going to advocate, you know, like, hey, you don't need school.
No, that's not going to come
painter,
out of my mouth.
But for $19 and a whole slew of YouTube videos, if oil painting's your thing,
there's a lot of knowledge here.
And dude, that's just with the game. That doesn't even account for, like, okay, let's say, I mean, because Bob Ross is the most popular oil painter, right? In the whole wide world ski.
I'd say.
They got his whole season up there of videos.
Right on YouTube.
I mean, I think after doing like 100 pictures, you're probably going to have enough of your own creativity now because you know enough of the rules. Like, oh, well, this is the pond rule, and this is the ocean rule, and this is the stormy day, and you'll start figuring it out. You'll be able to actually put those pieces in yourself when you're like, I wonder how I'll do a stormy day. You know, like I'm going to go deep and do the dark side and light side type painting. I've been trying to find a downside to this game. Anything I can put my finger on.
I have one.
What?
That you're going to blow hours of your time
easy
and kill your whole battery and lose track of time and never be able to finish the whole painting in one sitting.
Dude, I'll be thinking about this. I'll be thinking about
it's
this
too good
simulation when I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'll be like, working and I'll be like,
I want to paint this.
I think I'm going to try this tonight.
And how convenient is it being able to just take the headset, put it on, and now you're painting?
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
No, again, zero downside. And family friendly to the core. It's painting.
Yeah.
So
the built-in YouTube integration makes this potential endless.
Yeah, I mean, again, I only had one complaint with the last painting experience I had, and that was kind of the ability to continue to learn. And I mean, I know we'd even spoken to people about it. It's an area that could maybe still happen for them, but this Vermillion did it, you know, so it's like, okay.
And look, you know, that one's free. This one, it costs $20, but you see where the money goes. Like, it's worth it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a very polished simulator itself, but just the education.
Serious painters coming out of the woodwork using this too.
And so because you can export your painting and save it and everything like that, you can get it printed on a real canvas.
Real canvas.
Yeah. So if you love something you paint, you're like, I want to get that
I'm
printed.
Keeping that.
Yeah. You know, you go do the rest yourself, but you have the raw file, you know? So it's, man, endless.
It'll be a long time before I probably ever get anything I doodle up as a printable thing, but I know there are people that can use this medium to create real legit artwork. And just like a real painting, there's no way you're going to do the same painting twice and it look exactly the same. I mean, professionals, you know, probably would because they know every single freaking rule. But since you're looking at brush strokes or dab marks or little cuts into the thing or maybe an area you cleaned, man, unless your ability to duplicate is that damn good, it's like every painting is an original, even though it could be the same painting. You could do the same painting every day. It's going to be different every day.
Yeah. So I don't mean to cut you off either, but before we get too carried away or we run out of time and we never do it, I want to take this moment to have a little message from our sponsors, the people who help keep this ship afloat, besides you as the listeners,
of course,
and our monthly donators, such as Bam It's Fluffy, you know. So there's a couple ways we stay afloat, but, you know, one is our sponsors, and it is Testicle Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
So this is very big and important sponsor this month. So stay tuned for this message, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Hey, Stratus, how you feeling today?
I am feeling ball-tastic, thank you.
Ball-tastic. So before we started recording today, you were telling me you coined a new term?
I have. I'm going to refer to the downstairs nether regions as my nut hut. That's my nut hut area. So you want to keep your nut hut feeling and smelling good? Manscaped has you covered.
So how's your nut hut doing?
Fantastic.
No bushes, no trees.
I am
no grass.
I am just free nut hutting it. I am loving life.
It's lawn mowed nice.
Lawn mowed nice. Feels nice.
With your lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped.
Got my little refresh spray if I need it.
So yeah, we're definitely having fun talking about Manscaped.com, the leader in men's, you know, self-grooming, I guess, accessories, right?
Absolutely.
If you enjoy Manscaped's products, you know, check them out and be sure to use code word Ruff Talk VR for 20% off. And check this. Free shipping.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Their prices are good to begin with, let alone 20% off and some free shipping.
Yeah, so, you know, be sure to visit there, shop around a bit, and use that promo code, Ruff Talk VR, all one word.
Keep that nut hut living good.
Clean, shaven, and smelling nice.
Absolutely.
All right, you know, very, very important cause and great sponsor, so I'm, you know, glad we got that in. Before I got, you know, I could already see it happening. We'd be an hour in, I'd be, that's the way it goes. We can definitely talk a lot. That goes without saying.
Sometimes too much.
Yeah, but I'd like to think that at least somebody enjoys it, right? Otherwise, I don't think anybody would listen. So at least we found a good outlet.
I think we're easy on the ears on the drive to work.
Yep, that's what I. Well, I think that's how.
Or easy on the ears while you're at work.
Yeah, that's why. To anybody who listens, so it's this is kind of off topic, but say it all the time. To anybody who listens to our first couple episodes,
sorry,
I apologize. Like we upgraded on the mics very early because audio quality, sounding relaxing is important. So if you listen to those first couple episodes, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You know what though? We start somewhere, and
it's kind of cool to be able to see the progress.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like. See the progress from the audio, from video to.
Which is something I wonder about this game, because if this game never got a single update, I haven't had a single glitch, any functionality issues. I haven't had any no complaints. If this game got no updates, it's done. There's no more updates or features needed besides if you decided to go the route of multiplayer, private lobbies or, subscription art classes or live training or whatever. But yeah, he could never drop an update. He could stay at the exact version it's at, and it could be done forever. It's there's some games that it's obvious there's more going to come. This game, I could see it either way. Nothing more needs to come.
Don't know what you really need to bring to the table. Maybe more colors that you don't have to mix yourself, or like a whole line of pastels.
Yeah, maybe an option to have more colors available, because some people might like the default. You're forced to mix your own, whatever. But
yeah, and you're gonna learn. And I mean, truthfully, if you know how to mix colors, then you'd probably never really.
Yeah,
why would I got my primaries? I can mix anything, because in theory, if you have I think that's my understanding. If you have your primary colors, you can make any color. Mm-hmm. You just have, which seems mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's
but then again, so doesn't zeros and ones making video games
going
look
back
real.
To the flashbacks of first and second grade with the color primaries and everything like that. It's funny the things you learned in like first and second grade.
Fuck, dude. Just ask Alexa. It's freaking great.
But it's awesome. But I like the color mixing thing for the reason that what you had said before, that you could paint the same painting every day of the week, and every time will be a little bit different
in some way. Yeah,
part of that's because of the mixing. It's like every shade's a little bit unique that you make for that painting. It's hard to get in my opinion, because I'm not the best at it, it's hard to get exactly the shade that you want. You kind of get what you get, you play with it a little bit more, but it's unique to that painting. If you were to do it again tomorrow, it might be slightly different shade, but that's going to make a big difference in the end.
Oh yeah, you even look at like people who are really good at painting and color matching. I mean, they'll have like a little sample on their palette, and even then they have to work to get that. But they're just so good at it. They'll just be like, oh, I just need to drop in a little blue, a little of this.
Well, it's funny to even think that there's levels to the skill in VR, because like, again, you watch the developer paint, and he's doing it, like you said, with the avatar.
Wicked easy.
And yeah, dude.
Makes it look so easy.
I feel like a little kid. Like, mine does not look like that. I'm using the same brush, the same settings.
I'm sure after developing it, he's probably put like hundreds of hours in on it. So it's like, Jesus, it's just second. You know what's wicked cool though? On your easel, they give you a bottom platform that's just white. It's really cool. You can put paint on it. It's kind of like a secondary color easel. So what you can do is you can mix a cool color paint on your color palette, and then drop a dab of it onto your little flat easel. And then when you clear your palette, because you clear your color palette constantly, just like your brush, that color's saved there. So if I came up with a wicked cool color, and I got concerned and I was like, you know what? No, I can just use that as storage. So it's perfect.
Yeah. And it kind of gives you
a one wipe clean too. You can clean the whole thing off.
And for me, I don't know if this is what it's meant for at all, but sometimes how the color looks on the mixing board and then how it will look when I stroke it with my brush are different. So sometimes I'll use that white area to go, this is how it's going to look with this brush at that pressure. Because here's another thing we didn't reference. The way the game decides to do, like, how much paint you're going to put on or anything, it has like an artificial system to measure pressure of basically how far away your hand, or far or close your hand is to the canvas. And you'll even see it while you're mixing paint.
Oh, the brushes bend.
Yeah, they give you like a little painting indicator that shows you, you're putting this much pressure here, whatever. So it's very intuitive. It's nice.
No, I found no functionality of it that like was wonky. You know, even when you go zipping across because a lot of times you'll just do like quick motions with the brush, like, and the hand keeps up. I mean, you're using your controllers. It's not
so even
hand gesturing.
Yeah, it's like you can't measure exactly how much pressure you're doing, but just the system of, the distance from the canvas feels very natural.
And they let you adjust how the brush is held in your hand. You can click your button and move your wrist right or left to change the angle of the brush if you're more prone to holding something a certain way.
Yep.
That's the way you do it.
And it's even cool because when you're adjusting your hand position of gripping it, it'll show a ghost hand while you have the mode open of how the default hand grip is on it. So let's say you start gripping it like crazy and you're like, I don't even know how the game's supposed to have me hold it in the first place. You can go, all right, there's the outline of the ghost hand. Let me grip it.
You hold it what's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, man, I can't think of what more I would ask for in this.
No, for what it is, and it's a painting sim, like, it makes me feel like I'm doing good.
Yeah, and what I'm really excited for is I know I'm not that artistic. I know I'm not. I know my limitations. And this game has me pumping out decent artwork, not because it holds your hand and it's like that, just because of the way it teaches you concepts and everything. I can't wait for in the next 6 months to a year to see the kind of there's savages out there with this stuff, man. People are really talented.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see some high-level stuff come out in a couple months, and I'm really excited to see it. I know I can't produce it, even though I can get decent stuff. But this has all the tools that somebody who really knows how to paint. Man, I think we're going to see some, like, mind-blowing stuff. Like, there's no way you painted that in a VR app.
No, if you're good at oil painting, there's no reason you wouldn't crush it in VR oil painting. Absolutely.
I'm excited.
And it, again, I mean, there's no cost associated with trying new things in VR oil painting. So what are you out? Nothing, except something conceptually that you're going to take over to your real world oil painting and just make it even better. So for even professionals, the ability to be able to learn in an immersive environment, come on. Or not learn, but
practice,
hone their already professional skills to yet another level. It's a game changer.
Yeah,
I mean, why not?
Work out a concept before you put it actually to the canvas and waste all the material and paint, and it's great. Man, I got nothing but good things to say. So with that being said, you want to get into our final thoughts and rating and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so real quick, let me do some quick begging. We had our sponsor, before, but there's another cool thing we have going on where we have our official subreddit, which you can join by the link in our episode description or show notes. You can also find it at reddit.com/r/rufftalkvr or rufftalkvr.reddit.com. You can also find the link in the show notes for our Discord community. Those are kind of our two ever-growing online communities where you can interact with us, the podcast hosts, directly, other podcast fans, shoot the shit, get kind of a sneak peek of, what we're dropping next week. We run giveaways, contests, all that fun stuff. So go join those links, and you can also find a link to support the show directly. I mentioned one of our monthly supporters, Bam It's Fluffy. You can donate once to our podcast, just as a one-time donation, whatever you want, $1, $5, whatever. Or you can donate where you want to be a monthly subscriber, automatically support the podcast monthly. So you can find the link for that right in the podcast show notes as well. So,
sweet.
Other than that, let's get into our final thoughts and our rating. So we break our game ratings into 4 categories, each rated 1 to 25, with the total score of the 4 adding up to be the final score. Gameplay categories being gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, and replayability. So starting with gameplay, I mean, like, I'll hear when it's your score, but I would love to hear the argument for giving this less than 25 on gameplay, because I don't have it. Like, this is clean 25 out of 25 gameplay for me. It's an art simulator, and it does that above and beyond because they have the built-in YouTube integration, because they have the projector where you can overlay and sketch. I mean, shit, because they have the go back feature. I mean, gameplay is clean 25 out of 25. I'd love to hear the argument for less, but nonetheless. So 25 there. Aesthetics, I got to give 25 out of 25 as well, simply because I said it down right in the beginning. Like, even just the background environments are some of the best graphics I've seen on the Quest 2. And I know you mentioned they're stripped down. What you meant by that is, like, they're just not overloaded with decorations and tables and flowers everywhere, but what exists in that environment is freaking high quality. And then, it's a painting simulator, so the quality of your paint on the canvas has to be high quality, otherwise it's gonna suck, which this game knocks out of the park. I think that's another category. Clean, 25 out of 25. Functionality, I didn't have a single glitch. I didn't crash to my desktop once. There was one time that the game was a little choppy playing, but it's because other apps were updating in the background, and that's more of an Oculus problem than the game problem. I didn't have any glitches. There were no points where it's like it feels weird the way I'm pushing on the brush. It's actually remarkable how good it works. There were some times where, I was watching the developer in the tutorial, and it wasn't feeling like it was coming out the way he was, but it's because there's technique in it. It functions that good that how you actually stroke makes a huge difference. The direction, the
always has.
Yeah. So so functionality, I got to give him a 25, and believe it or not, replayability, I'm going to give him a 25 as well, because look, if they didn't have the web browser, I would call it a 20, because the simulation aspect of this game is that good, with so much realistic possibilities to bring you back, that just that alone is replayability 20. But the fact that they have the YouTube videos and the projector, people who have listened to this podcast before, I'm kind of very adamant about it. Like, I don't give perfect ratings. It's kind of like I'm gonna go against my own philosophy here. In this game, I can't think of a single thing to flag them for. And the one thing that I wish they had of live classes or multiplayer, I can't flag them for not having it. I can't think of a single area to take away at any point in our rating system. So I'm gonna give them a clean 100.
Sweet. That's pretty rare.
Only time it's worth every penny.
No, wicked rare. Oil painting 101 starts with Vermillion for $19. Get yourself $1,000 worth of educational content and endless possibilities. I mean, really, you're only limited to your own imagination. And I was talking before about, like, I have ideas in my head, but they don't come to fruition on paper for some reason. I actually think the more you learn about rules and certain techniques and how to create certain things, all of a sudden your visions can become real, because now you'll be able to apply them, which is where I suffer from. But gameplay, 25, I mean, Jesus, come on. It's a simulation. Definitely, there's no mini games, there's no shooting, there's no stress. Again, I love, my favorite part of being in the manor painting is hearing a little thunderstorm in the background. It's friggin' just wicked relaxing, I believe therapeutic, de-stress, deprogram, and just create. And family friendly. I think that's wicked important, but you're never going to be inundated with small kids in this game or simulation. So 25. Aesthetics, the only reason I think they really strip down the rooms is to put all the focus and power on the bulk of the game, or simulation, which is the actual, colors and canvas and paintbrushes and the physics involved with that, and color matching and blending and paint thinner and clean. It's really over the top. But 25, I don't see anything that doesn't look real. And even though I don't have like finger haptic feedback gloves and shit, it feels real when I paint. Kind of like you said, you can hear the brush just hitting the little canvas. It's friggin' awesome, or bends when you push on it. But aesthetics, 25, and the velvet chair is pretty bomb. Functionality, look, I mean, you're not really moving around a lot, so there's no reason to throw your guardian. I haven't been kicked out. I haven't been locked out, lagged. I've moved my hand really fast. I mean, really fast, to do like some sky technique. Nothing. Damn. Anything I complain about would just be something that it doesn't already have that I'm wishing it had. So they get a 25. Replayability, I'm going to play it. I see no reason why not to. I see I'm not held back by any limitation of trying to learn. And there's plenty of material out there right now that, probably 1,000,000+ videos of art shit you can learn, not just from what they're giving you built in, kind of embedded into the player, but on your own search. Plus the friggin' projector if you want to trace, and god darn it. So 100. I put this as a definite 1,000,000% must own if you like art but are shy,
have any interest in painting,
or if you're already into art. It's like a no-brainer. You'd want to own it. Or let's say you're an artist, but you don't. Oil painting's not your style. That's not where you go. I work in charcoal only. It's like, wow, okay, now I can play in oil painting and not have to reinvent the wheel and spend all the money. But just the money saved. But the finished product it's frame worthy. Yeah. If you could create something, I am not that guy, but if you actually did paint something that exceeded your own expectations, yeah, I could see going, you know what? How much is it to get this bad boy put on a canvas? Because you did paint it. Mm-hmm. It's not like you used a mouse, and if you come up with 2 million colors, it's because you came up with those 2 million colors. I mean, actually, I guess we could say Thomas did, but it's just...
You mixed them.
Yeah.
And you put it to the canvas.
And I think it gives people, and this is the most important, more people can now do this who never would have before. Mm-hmm. So who knows where the next, maybe someone's going to let their kid try and be like, hey, paint me a face. And the kid's actually going to be like, has artistic talent.
Yeah.
That nobody knew this person had.
And 10 years from now, he's putting actual art to the canvas, but he never would have, he or she or
They don't
whatever.
have an NFT button, huh?
No. I saw some people on Twitter, they're like, oh, I'm going to sell mine as an NFT. Because I guess if you could download the image, you could and whatnot. But I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. I would like to talk to whoever would like to spend real life money on my artwork.
Listen.
On mine, I'm talking about mine specifically. I can imagine other people's are good.
We both own the first one we ever did. Mm-hmm. There's never been a second one to replace it right now. So yeah, it's of as much value as someone's willing to pay you for it. And I will start that bidding at 25 cents. And I will send you the only copy, and we'll delete it off my hard drive forever.
So since last week was April Fool's,
right?
Walkabout did a April Fool's joke that they were making a blockchain based cryptocurrency to sell their DLCs as NFTs.
How well did that go over?
Well, it didn't take long before people were like,
figured it out.
Yeah, but
what was the initial reaction though?
The majority of the comments were, "I was pissed until I looked at the date."
Yeah, right.
That's a good fucking troll.
Well, they did because they knew what buttons to push.
Yeah, yeah.
They might as well have said, and we're gonna have advertisements instead of greens. You're gonna be playing on
that you can't.
A Coca-Cola advertisement that you have to watch.
Yeah, it won't go away until you until you open your eyes. Don't try to close your eyes.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
So that's a good troll. Yeah, so they did a good job there.
Yeah, no, it's good to see people still have fun on April Fools. Yeah. What sucks is like serious shit or funny shit or stuff coming can be told to me on April 1st, and I believe none of it.
Yeah, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my god, that was true. As a big MMA fan, there's been fights canceled on April 1st. That's just it's brutal,
and it was real. It wasn't
fake, joke. But you don't know until tomorrow. So
correct.
That is what it is. So we got a little sidetrack there, but 200s out of us. That's huge. I would put this on my list of apps to see the potential of VR to somebody who's new. Like never experienced
dude. Wait until like and
this,
I already know
no, I'm not talking about new to art. Like you want to see the capabilities of VR. Yeah, go put on this headset and look how it's real life.
It'd be a cool art one.
What? Pottery would be fun.
Holy shit, pottery's awesome.
Imagine a pottery with hand tracking.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you have to look down at it.
Haptic gloves.
So much potential here. But again,
pottery is a lot more feel than anything else. So.
Art's kind of one of those things that I like conceptually, but my execution of it's always been so bad. I never really got over the hump, and I never really invested enough to be able to do it in VR and learn it like that. Man, limitless potential. So, man, to Thomas Van Buren,
hats off, man. You killed it. crushed it.
Not Thomas Van Buren. That was Cubism.
Yeah.
It's the Thomas
Van. It's the Thomas Van that throws it. That's why I had to write his name down.
And I'm pretty sure they're both
pretty
Dutch.
deep.
So I'm not saying these are the same guy, but if we get to interview this guy and Thomas Van Buren
Thomas
pops
looks
up,
like Thomas. We're on to you.
I'm gonna say this was a good April Fool's joke, my friend.
No, he crushed it.
Yeah, no, great job.
Must own, definite. 2 thumbs up, 100%, 5 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nothing negative to say. And I would challenge somebody to look. His reviews speak for itself. He's got a 4.8.
Mm-hmm.
He's got almost a perfect rating.
Yeah, and what I'll say is I'm always the guy who's saying, I won't give perfect ratings, but when you look to grade it as an art simulator, what else can you say?
Home run.
It's knocked it out of the park. So, if you haven't checked out VR, Vermillion, and you haven't started, painting in VR and gotten
being the best painter you can.
Yeah, this game will help you get there. So definitely check it out for $19.99, worth every penny in my opinion. So, anything else you want before we wrap it up, Stratus?
Nah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see more of the content people put out on this.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, dude. Give it a couple months.
I mean, I'm having fun.
The next 6 months to a year is.
But some of the ones that people have done that I've been able to load on my canvas are just over the top. Like where?
And yes, this game has been out for some time on like the Rift and stuff, but the amount of people with Quest headsets who don't have gaming PCs, there's so much more.
It's a whole different. And again, I mean, who knows where that new diamond in the rough is? Mm-hmm. Who's going to pick up that brush and it's going to change their life, or they're going to change ours? It's crazy.
I think that this is going to be a great relationship for VR because it's going to introduce new people to VR. There's going to be at least one person who buys a headset because they heard they can paint in VR.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be at least one person who one day puts, oil to the canvas because this. So it goes both ways. Yeah. This game's going to bring new people into art, and this game's going to bring new people into VR as well. So hats off.
I think it'll reignite some people who used to, who just for what life takes over.
Look,
we get families and jobs, and
we said it between going out, getting the materials, setting up, cleaning up, putting it. Oh my God, it's a lot for people.
That's why most painters have like an art space.
Yeah,
like that's their. You got the.
But that's a lot to invest into if you just want to try.
Hell yeah, going to trash a room in the house just for painting. So
this is
they
one
got
of those,
you covered.
Yeah, one of those special apps that really go, wow, this is what VR is for. Beyond gaming, this is.
Would it be cool before we wrap up?
Yeah,
because I'm just thinking of the mess because we keep referring to the mess.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would be cool if this game started you with a clean that you could default back to clean spick and span anytime?
But your droplets go everywhere.
Yeah, like let your droplets hit the floor when you wrap your brush.
If that was the case, I would use the white Insanity room more.
Yeah, because you'd get it all colorful over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's pretty cool. But it doesn't matter. It's like for $19.99 for this.
Yeah, dude, the background graphics are good.
I don't even care about the graphics. I care about that canvas and the colors and
the YouTube integration, the projector.
That's the money maker right there. The tutorials.
So, all right, we're gonna start just repeating ourselves a bunch and praising this guy.
Thank you, Thomas. Sorry for saying your name wrong.
Yeah, apologize about that.
Sorry to both Thomases.
Hopefully we can get him on, and we'll iron out if it's the same dude. So, all right, have a great day.